Previously, on A Little Late with Lily
I
Singh.
got the craziest thing in the mail today. At first, I was like, great, I have a stalker. But it actually turned out to be way worse. It was a wedding invitation. Same-sex marriage only became legal in the US in 2015. We've been watching The Bachelor since 2002. Same-sex marriage threatens the moral fabric of society, but marrying someone who gave you HPV in a hot tub 3 days ago is our God-given freedom? If I do get married, I will insist on having separate washrooms. Nothing kills romance faster than heading for the shower and hearing your partner go, maybe give it a minute. On the one hand, I can't get mad at free drinks, free food, and watching the DJ hit on the maid of honor. Don't even get me started on the time I had to boycott a good friend's marriage. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about it tomorrow night.
What other mind-blowing takes does Lily have on marriage? Find out now on The Thrilling Conclusion.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your host tonight, Lily Singh.
Thank you so much, thank you. Have a seat. Thank you. Y'all, welcome to A Little Late with Lily Singh. Are you ready to have a good time? Last time on A Little Late, I talked a little bit about my thoughts on weddings, but I have so much more to say. And the thing is, while I appreciate getting an invite to someone's wedding, most wedding traditions are rooted in sexism. Now, I know what you're thinking. And no, I'm not saying all weddings are sexist. Everyone needs to get married in genderless gray onesies. No. I think weddings are dope, but when you start to question some of the traditions, it looks like an episode of The Handmaid's Tale. Just hear me out, just hear me out. Like, people always say a wedding day is the bride's day. But calling a wedding the bride's day is like calling Thanksgiving their turkey's meal. She's poked and prodded for hours, eventually placed in the center of a room where everyone claps and says, so beautiful. But you know all they're thinking is she has no taste. Now, every time I bring this up with my parents, they say, that's just how it's always been done. Whose parents have said this? When you say everything, that's just how things have been done. Yeah. Look, just because we've done something for 100 years doesn't mean we still have to do it now. Like, 100 years ago, women couldn't vote. People smoked cigarettes to cure asthma. And this is true, check this out. In many cities, it was illegal to be ugly. Which is still the case in Los Angeles. How do I know so much about wedding traditions? I mean, I'm not even married. Well, I have been to a lot of weddings, and surprise, a lot of them have been Indian. Any Indian people out here? The loudest people. Indian weddings are so fun, so dope, so colorful. I love them, but I do have a few bones to pick about our traditions. Like, there's this one called a Lady Sangeet, where all your friends and family have to perform songs and dances for you. It's like an adult talent show that nobody asked for. And if that sounds bad, just wait until the kids start performing. Yeah. Spoiler alert, most 6-year-olds cannot remember choreography. And if you tell them that, they cry. Straight up, if you've never been, imagine smiling through 1 hour of this. Ready? I'm gonna stop, but I'm not. As I mentioned last night, I recently had to boycott part of my friend's wedding because of a sexist tradition. It was an Indian wedding ceremony called a doli, where the groom takes the bride from her family to his house where she joins his family. And get this, the bride is expected to cry. Now, I've never been in this situation, but that sounds like a lot of pressure. Everybody's watching you, you're trying to perform like, give me a second, it's coming. Don't look at me. Like, it must be like trying to get an emotional boner, just like. And there's another Indian tradition called the milni, where before the wedding, the male relatives officially meet, hug, and exchange gifts. And at the weddings I've attended, women usually don't really participate. It's basically like watching a big grinder date. It's not just Indian traditions, though. It's literally all cultures. I mean, there's the bouquet toss, where all the single women decide to turn into Hulk Hogan to win the right to get married next. And I'm like, no one is going to marry you, Amber. You stone cold stunner Denise for that bouquet. Or are you so impressed? I knew what that was. Do you not think I watch wrestling? Come on, don't be so impressed. I know the stunner. Or the garter belt, which represents the groom taking the bride's virginity. This is the moment when the couple's friends and family gather in a circle to watch the groom put his head between the bride's legs and pull the garter off with his mouth. And not only is this sexist, it's also the grossest part of the wedding when you hear an uncle scream out, "Brad, more teeth!" Now, aunties and uncles, before you get mad at me, I'm not saying we should get rid of all of these wedding traditions. No, I know they're very important to you. But we should at least try to make them equal. Like, instead of just my dad walking me down the aisle, both my parents can walk with me. I mean, I can't think of anything more romantic than the sound of my mom and dad arguing. Or instead of going to my husband's house for the doli, he can leave his family and come live with me at my house. I'm probably gonna be making all the money anyways. And let's be real, okay? Let's be real. He won't be crying when I drive him away from his parents' house in my Tesla. Just saying. And one more thing. Instead of saying, "You may now kiss the bride," the officiant should say, "You may now bang it out in front of your family." Make it equal, y'all.